Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live stream here with me and Nato from Cloud Underground. I am Laura Riley. I am the CEO, co-founder of Cloud Underground. Nato, would you like to introduce yourself?
I am Nato. I do a lot of engineering. I like
Yes,
cloud things. I built the Olympiad, which the Olympiad lives inside of the Underground Nexus.
that's correct. Yeah, so here today we are talking about Nexus Kinesis. Woo! What is this thing that we're talking about? We decided to call all of the projects that are really cool and interesting that people in our community and within Cloud Underground and Underground Ops, which is what we're going to specifically be talking about today. Some of these really cool projects that people are working on that we see as being like kinetic forces in the DevSecOps world have the potential to create a lot of change and movement and good stuff. So we're calling this segment the Nexus Kinesis. And yeah, what do you think about Nexus Kinesis, Nato? What are your thoughts?
It's almost like telekinesis,
Which is
except
like
for
moving things with your mind, right?
yeah, except for it's just like with code. It's almost because it's like if you think about the code hard enough, then the Nexus will just like make it go do whatever it's supposed to
Whatever
do.
your dreams are, you can make them happen with the Nexus.
That's right. You have to just envision it and
If you
imagine it.
if you dream it,
It can
you can make
happen.
it happen.
Yes.
So, yeah. So today we are talking about Nexus Kinesis. It's practically magic, you know. Like we just said, if you dream it, you can make it happen with the Underground Nexus.
That's right.
So first today we're going to be talking about Randall Massey. He recently changed his title to CISO. He's now the CISO of Cloud Underground. Shout out to Randy. So Randall is working on his Simply Amazing sock, which is a
Amazing.
sock that he's building, a sim using Blue Mira Sim, which is you can buy a version of Cloud Underground or of the Underground Nexus with Blue Mira built right in, so you can have some amazing cybersecurity built into your Nexus. And he is also creating a cybersecurity challenge, Randall's cybersecurity challenge, which will be living on the NATO as Code cybersecurity research radio station. So you can check that out every week. The cybersecurity challenge will be changing. Shout out to Randall. So Nathan, tell us a little bit more about the Simply Amazing Sock Nexus Kinesis project that Randy is working on.
So this is kind of a fun project because one of the things that I've done is, so I, full disclosure, I do work at Blue Mira, but this is not an advertisement for Blue Mira. It's something that I definitely like the tool. So with things that we do, go figure that we have people around us who so happen to use it. And one of the things that I do is I've run a YouTube channel for quite some time, and if anyone, if we go back to like 2020, has checked out my channel, then you've noticed that I have the stream that goes up and down. That's a 24/7 music stream, and there have been times when it's been down for a long time. And we've been spending a lot of our time building more stable server technologies, and I use my stream to test our technologies. And then I just throw it up there and let it run 24/7. And unfortunately, with the release of the Underground Nexus, we no longer really have problems with stability or trying to figure out how to have a stream run 24/7. And this giant time investment that I once upon a time had to maintain the 24/7 stream on my YouTube channel, those woes have vanished. And so now it just runs 24/7 up in the cloud. And so I asked if Randall, yeah, who are stream ever going down again. And so while Randall is working on our 24/7 Cloud Security Operations Center SOC, it's got Blumira under the hood. It's got other things under the hood running it. My YouTube channel, you'll see that it's showing Pi-hole 24/7 running. And it says Randall's Cybersecurity Challenge. And you'll see that Cybersecurity Challenge, but if you look weekly and pay close enough attention, you'll notice that the dashboard changed. We will know, ideally, what happened next time the stream goes down. But this time, the stream's not going to go down from operational challenges or stability challenges. If the stream goes down now, it's probably because it got hacked. And so we are going to have 24/7 monitoring, honeypots, all that good stuff on the YouTube channel. It's as exciting as it sounds, except not, because you look at it, the music is exciting. We put music on it because if you look at security metrics, a big event happens maybe once every other month, once every 3 months, who knows. But to make it more exciting on a day-to-day basis, it's got 24/7 music playing while you watch our security to see if we're actually getting attacked for real, which everyone gets attacked. But Randall's going to be building a living, growing, organic security operations center that you get to watch on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, and also just a short aside, we actually had a video on Tuesday where we talked a little bit about a potential threat that we were experiencing. So go back and watch that video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Randall and his simply amazing SOC. The next Nexus Kinesis project is coming at us from our CTO, Jordan Anderson. Jordan is building a print pipeline, Jordan's print pipeline, which will be run through Jordan's managed mesh. Right? Did I say that correctly?
Yeah.
So
right.
Jordan has been using Octoprint to scale his 3D printing operations, and which is essentially manufacturing and industrial control systems at scale.
Oh, yeah.
In the boiled down version. Nato, tell us more about it.
So this is where things get real advanced real fast. So I'm going to try to explain this in a way because Jordan is a mad scientist of sorts. If you have a long enough conversation with you, he'll show you something that you never thought was possible before, and he'll tell you how to do something that you probably never thought was possible before. So one of the things about cloud, and if those who watched us all the way back from like the Notia Point days, we talk about this idea of like scaling from the cloud, or from like your own desk to the cloud, all that good stuff with like Raspberry Pis. And we started manufacturing, but who did that manufacturing? Jordan did the manufacturing. And then we also had to build infrastructure for scaling from our local data center locations up to the cloud. Who does that work? That's Jordan. Jordan does that work from building all of the on-prem data centers. Now we have 4 sites. And for people who might not have Jordan setting things up at their site, Jordan builds all the stuff and sends it on over to them and gives them guidance and instructions on here's how you can make sure that your sector is up and running and safe and secure. And so Jordan built a mesh. But the mesh didn't just stop at running in data centers on the ground that Jordan manages, builds, all that good stuff. Just like the 24/7 stream that we maintain started on our local data centers, part of it still is always going to be running on our local data centers because we run what's called a DevSecOps service mesh, and that's Jordan's managed mesh. And if you go over to my YouTube channel, the same stream where you see Randall's cybersecurity challenges, you'll notice that there's music playing. Not only is there music playing, but you can actually see the music player, and if you scroll down in the description, you can go and look at that radio feed as well, which does mean that the 24/7 SOC that Randall is securing lives both in 4 locations on the ground, across those locations, and up in the cloud. That stream runs across 4 different locations, and that's all thanks to Jordan. And the music doesn't even live in the cloud server that plays the stream. That lives somewhere in the mesh. Amazing. So Jordan made this managed mesh, and it's the reason why Randall can have this security operations center, because what is he defending in the first place? Randall is defending that managed mesh. And so then that brings us to, what is all of this? Industrial control systems. Jordan has been manufacturing tiny supercomputers. Let's take a look at one right now. This is a tiny supercomputer. This actually is more than one server that fits on your desk, and Jordan made this. But at some point, we built the Nexus because we had to scale. Jordan had to scale his work. Randall's got to scale his work. We all have to scale our work somehow. And so how is Jordan going to mass produce these things? Well, got to have more than one printer at some point. We already have too many locations than we know what to do with. So it's time to let the Underground Nexus be the thing that Jordan can manage, say, not just one printer, not just 10 printers, but maybe 20 printers, maybe 50 printers, maybe a whole team of people who also help manage those printers. And how is Jordan going to do that? With the exact same managed mesh that he built, where he is going to build the printer,
The Octoprint?
The Octoprint. What's the Octoprint? You told me the name of it.
Oh, the Jordan's printing pipeline.
Yes. We need
thing.
that language. Jordan's printing pipeline. We have to be specific.
Coming.
Because
it's already here.
It's already here. He's been building it. So you're going to actually get to see him
but now
use
we're scaling
Octoprint.
It. Yeah.
That's right. To scale out manufacturing with Octoprint 3D printers in Jordan's
printing pipeline.
And because
through this managed mesh.
Yeah. And so basically we are scaling the ability to manage printers using the Nexus agnostically with cloud resources that go beyond just, you have the local servers, the local printers, you have the servers up in the cloud that the other servers talk to, you have the different networks, the different LANs, the VLANs, the VXLANs. Jordan's doing all of it. And so if you've ever wondered if there was one person who could single-handedly build multiple data centers, manufacture, and then centrally handle all of the manufacturing all by themselves, I don't know how Jordan does it, but that's what Jordan's capable of, and he does it for us, and he does it for more than us because he doesn't know what else to do with his time because it's so automated that he's just sitting around wondering what to do while all the machines run. So Jordan
has been manufacturing all kinds of things for all kinds of people. So It's really cool. Very exciting.
You might think to yourself, well, like, oh, Jordan's unavailable because he's working too hard. No. He's probably out skiing and has no service. But everything's working, whether it's the printers, whether it's the pipeline, whether it's the servers, whether it's the data centers, whether it's the music on that 24/7 stream. Our services just run. And that's thanks to Jordan and his printer pipeline on the managed mesh. Unlimited scale, manufacturing at its finest.
Absolutely. Before we move on to our next Nexus Kinesis project, though, I am going to do a quick plug, which is that very shortly we will be selling these cases as kits on our website. So we'll keep an eye out. We'll be creating a lot of content around that when it happens. It'll come full kit with the fan. The only thing you'll need to provide yourself is the Pi. So back to the Nexus Kinesis. All right, our next Nexus Kinesis project comes from Ken Underhill from End Cyberlife. Ken is the host, creator. He is creating the CyberLife School, which is a pay-what-you-can cybersecurity education model, essentially. So he's going to be releasing courses on the CyberLife School. You can find that at cyberlife.tv, and essentially pay what you can. If you can't afford anything, then it's free to you, essentially. So that's super exciting, and essentially making the it's what Ken does very much align, make all of this information, all of this technology as available to as many people as possible. So yes, of course, you can buy a hosted version of the Underground Nexus from us. You can also build your own Underground Nexus. You don't need us. You can do it yourself on your own hardware, and essentially what Ken is trying to do also is allow people to learn cybersecurity without, having to pay for expensive certs or expensive courses. Just come and learn from experts like Ken, who has been in the industry for a very long time, who's been teaching cybersecurity for a very long time. If you've been in cybersecurity for any amount of time, you've probably taken a course from Ken. So really excited for him and Cyber Life School and the pay what you can model.
Yeah, pay what you can and don't pay what you can't. And learn things so that you can have money if you can't pay for things, because got to learn how to make money somehow.
Yeah, and you can help others by pointing to them to these free resources as well, so that more and more people can learn cybersecurity, can learn DevSecOps, can use the Nexus, can make the internet a safer place. That's what this is all about, so that we all are more secure online. And yeah.
Oh yeah.
Any other thoughts on the Cyber Life School Nexus Kinesis project?
Well, it's a very true thing that if you want to learn, especially like cybersecurity, you have to have access to data centers and data center resources and assets and sensitive information. And so either you have to do something that's probably not legal, and shame on you, I didn't say it anyways, or you have to have lots of resources, lots of money for servers, lots of money for cloud resources. If you're trying to learn cloud security, well, you could go and pay AWS and Azure and all these things. And then if you don't really know what's going on and you're trying to learn, so like really public cloud is not very beginner friendly.
No.
There's a reason why we've been trying to come up with ways to make it so that, like, if you've ever heard of DigitalOcean, it's kind of complicated to build things in DigitalOcean. You have to build your own backend from ground up if you're not using like their platform as a service.
And also because it's public cloud, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Because it's public cloud, you also need to be sure that you're using good security and DevSecOps practices, because it's going to be inherently slightly less safe because it's public. People are going to be targeting that more. So we'll be targeting those resources more. So you need to be prepared for that as well.
Yeah, and so like with those things, I'm just saying, if you learn Nexus, you don't necessarily have to know how to build a backend in DigitalOcean, because Nexus configures all of that for you. It's like basically the vast majority of the ecosystem is configured for you, and it's a template, so then you can just go and basically form it to whatever your projects or needs are. So, but if you're trying to learn, you can learn cryptography, you can learn whatever ethical hacking you want. Blue Team, you can learn how to build SOC. Randall's building a SOC on his own with the Underground Nexus publicly. You can actually take the stuff that you're watching Randall do and learn it and follow along while he's building it for free. And this stuff's hard. This stuff that people get 4-year degrees to try to learn, or even spend 10 years trying to get a PhD trying to learn. Mm-hmm. Or you could just use the Underground Nexus, and it's going to cost a lot of time still. There's no getting around that. Got to get your hands dirty. Got to start somewhere.
That's true. These things do take time. So.
And with Ken's model, you don't have to come up with that money for the service. Just pay what you can.
That's right.
And just get going. Just start.
Just start.
You don't need a $60,000 degree. Unless you can afford a $60,000 degree, you can do both. Then you can pay what you can. You can, do all of it.
Awesome. That's right. Making it more accessible to more people. That's what we love. So that kind of sums up the Nexus Kinesis projects for the Cloud Underground folks. So now let's transition to the Underground Ops. So of course, Underground Ops is Cloud Underground's partner company, and they are our managed service providers. So when you purchase a fully hosted cloud or Underground Nexus from Cloud Underground, you receive an Underground Ops, or you will receive services from an Underground Ops consultant.
Yeah, you're mostly paying for the people.
You're mainly paying for the people, for having that dedicated person that's always going to be there when you have something go wrong and need help. They're also going to help you set it up and configure it and all that fun, happy stuff. So anyway, our Underground Ops folks are also working on their very own Nexus Kinesis projects. So first we'll talk about Xavier. Xavier is working on a, basically, again, kind of revolutionizing the training aspect. He has created a new way to train people, destroying talent gaps with a learn at your own pace belt system that we are unveiling very soon in the DevSecOps Dojo. So the DevSecOps Dojo is a free community sponsored by us at Cloud Underground. You can come and join that for free, learn DevSecOps, learn more about the Nexus, and network with other professionals, essentially. And very soon you will be able to progress through the DevSecOps Dojo with the belt system that Xavier has created. Yes. So that's really exciting. We're going to be unveiling that in the next coming weeks. So if you're not part of the dojo yet, you should definitely join. And there are links to everything, including Underground Nexus, the DevSecOps Dojo, all in the description to this video. Nathan, what do you want to say about Xavier's DevSecOps Dojo belt system Nexus Kinesis project?
The belt system. So the the DevSecOps Dojo, because where did the Underground Nexus even come from? The Underground Nexus is actually the byproduct of the DevSecOps Dojo. The DevSecOps Dojo began at the end of 2020 on the 5th of November. Remember. And when the DevSecOps Dojo was founded, the goal was to teach cloud by building cloud all the way from ground up. And so we did exactly that, where we just started the DevSecOps Dojo and we just started building a cloud. And if you long ago in 2020, which now it's like years later, I guess. But regardless of it being so many years later, we finally finished that cloud. And if the idea is that we're going to learn cloud by building our own, well, now we're going to use our cloud. So we built it.
Right.
The Underground Nexus is here. And we take that cloud that everyone built by the dojo members, and it's shareable because it's a copy-paste data center. We built our own data center, and we can share the data center with anyone who will run on anything. If you're a dojo member and you're like, I am trying to become a professional, it's actually built for practitioners and people who are trying to build like businesses, things like that, or trying to get more like senior level engineering roles or that sort of a thing. Because that's a really ambitious goal to be like, we're going to build a cloud. Generally speaking, beginners aren't going to necessarily know what to do with that. But now that we have a cloud, all of a sudden the dojo is a little more beginner friendly because even beginners can come in, and we've had beginners come in, and we have practitioners who are all around the dojo. People have questions and they're like, oh, I can help you figure that out. I can help you figure that out too. And every time there's something broken on the dojo, everyone comes together and troubleshoots what's going on, and boom, now the Nexus either has a new feature or something else. But the belt system is designed to let us kind of go from just learning things to making an income, to turning it into a career, whether you're trying to start a business or you want to be a practitioner who is in a principal or senior level engineering type of role. It could be the security side of it, because if you have a cloud, I've gotten this question is, well, but I want to do cybersecurity. It's like, well, the DevSecOps Dojo, it's called DevSecOps Security, There's no such thing as the DevSecOps dojo without security.
Security's built right in.
We don't believe that cybersecurity should be separate from development, and so it actually goes against our beliefs for someone to think that cybersecurity and DevSecOps are separate. I believe that they're the same thing, because if you're building it and you're using it, you need to secure it no matter who you are. Because if you get hacked, everyone gets hacked. It's not like one person's things like, oops, I got phished because I was being careless. It's not my problem, and then you get laid off. Yes, it was your problem. So the DevSecOps dojo, as you rank up from white belt to the other belts, then there comes a junction where you've done things that are enough to start helping a company significantly, helping them build an ROI, or enough to start your own company. Or maybe you want to start your own company, so you can either start your own services or go and provide services for a company. Those are the two paths that we have once you get to a certain point in the dojo. And then we help you either start your own service or go work for a company. Whether you want to be a developer in cloud development, obviously building the cloud is more of the development side of it. And then there's no such thing as going and working out in the public and not getting hacked if no one's securing it. So absolutely security opportunities or services are important, or building the thing, securing the thing, managing the thing, any of it. DevSecOps.
That's right.
Building, securing, managing. Maybe you want to be a person who works in long-term ops to help scale resources. And maybe you want to help a company go from their 100 user base to 10,000 users, because the Underground Nexus is actually built to be able to handle millions of users. So you can actually build something that can handle millions of users or billions of users with the Underground Nexus, because it's built for scale. The DevSecOps dojo is all about that. The belt system is what teaches you how to be that person.
That's right.
Unlimited scale. Defend 1,000 people at once. Defend 1,000,000 people at once. Defend 1,000,000,000 people
and if you
at once.
don't know how to do that kind of thing yet, you can come to the dojo and start working your way through the belt system. So essentially, for each belt you earn, you then will earn stripes to progress to the next belt by completing tasks and learning at your own pace. So again, very self-paced, very informative, educational. You're going to learn a lot, and you're going to grow a lot as a professional, as an entrepreneur, as an intrapreneur, wherever your interest lies.
And getting a black belt requires that you learn how to make money with your skills. So if you're going all the way to black belt, then it's guaranteed that you're making money, or you ain't getting no black belt.
That's right.
So it's make money or bust. So it's learn how to build whatever you're trying to do. Learn how to do all the things you're trying to do, and then learn how to eat with it. No starving artisan dojo.
That's
if
right.
you're a black belt.
That's right.
If you're like not a black belt, maybe that's all you do. And if you're starving, I'm sorry. We will help you. We will feed you. But anyways, well, maybe we don't have unlimited food, but we can help.
We'll help you.
We'll help you figure out how to eat. We'll at least help you figure out how to eat.
Yeah. So anyway, come into the dojo. The again, links in the description of this video, and you can definitely, if you're we're the belt system is coming soon in the next few weeks. We'll be unveiling that. But in the meantime, we do post weekly challenges. So you can go join it and go back and do some of the weekly challenges that have mainly the last couple months been related to the Nexus. So go and learn more about the Nexus by completing the weekly challenge in anticipation of the dojo belt system being unveiled in the coming weeks.
Oh yeah!
Amazing! Nexus Kinesis! Ooh, it's so exciting!
It's like magic.
It is like magic. It's practically magic.
Amazing.
And so our next Underground Ops project is coming at us from Antoinette. Antoinette is our newest Underground Ops person, and she is going to be primarily working on migrating her entire website into the Nexus so that she can host her website from the Nexus, build it in the Nexus, work on it in the Nexus, secure it in the Nexus, and essentially create a purely custom website from the front end to the back end, all built within the Nexus. Nexus Kinesis. What do you got to say about that, Nato?
So this is super cool, because if you go on the internet, and even if you're watching us right now, you're probably going to a URL, some website somewhere. So even just to watch us, someone has a back end that allows you to go and view what we're doing.
It's pointing.
Any website that you see, as long as there's enough power for it, because systems, you need to have enough horses to run it, because you have like processors and memory and all this random stuff, computer power, right? As long as you have enough computer power under the hood, then you can put whatever website you want on your domains and build a website. Well, if you are using the Underground Nexus, it can be installed on anything from a Raspberry Pi to huge, giant, beefy servers. So you can install the Underground Nexus based on the power resources and needs that you have on the right hardware that you need, and it'll scale to different types of hardware if you have certain services that maybe don't need 100% of the power. But anyways, a bunch of little various cost-saving things. But Antoinette is going to take the entire back end of a website and put it in the Nexus, which does mean that whatever website you're watching, you can run it from the Nexus. You can run any website you want from the Nexus. As a matter of fact, the Nexus even has hardware emulation, so if there are certain requirements, once again, as long as you have the power for it, then you can actually emulate a hardware that you don't even necessarily have if you have like a website that requires certain resources, and maybe it requires some graphics acceleration or something fancy like that. But the Nexus is designed to let you pull resources from different types of hosts and things like that. So if you are running a website, you can have your website actually run across multiple Nexuses, or you can have your website hosted from a single Nexus. The Nexus just allows you to have more choice and control over how you decide that you want to host your website.
That's right.
And Antoinette is going to just move her website over to the Nexus, which once it's in the Nexus, let's say that Antoinette's like, I think I'm going to move this website to this hosting. Actually, to this hosting. Actually, let's go to this hosting instead. Let's just keep changing hosting. Thanks to the Nexus, the back end is just all right there, where she can just move it wherever she wants when she feels like it. There's no such thing as vendor lock-in when you can just pack your bags and walk out the door. And so the Nexus is like the ultimate vendor lock-in, like protection system, I guess. Vendor lock-in, for people who don't know what vendor lock-in is like if you go to AWS, you go to Azure, they try to get you to do everything on their one website, but then let's say that all of a sudden you want a service from that website, or from other, you want something from Azure, or you want something from Google Cloud Platform. Vendor lock-in makes it to where it can become more expensive or almost semi-punishing, or they just don't even let you do outside of network transactions very easily. They just try really hard to make it try really hard to keep you on their platform. The Underground Nexus, it's a uniform layer, and as long as something can run Docker or Kubernetes, then it'll talk to whatever Docker or Kubernetes you want it to. You just set it all up and avoid your vendors from locking you in. You still have to worry about like transfer rates and things like that, but it still makes it easier to have more choice and control over your hosting and where you host. It also lets you drop your costs. Let's say that you're in AWS and you're like, oh my gosh, the cloud bill's insane, but we got to keep the website going up so that we can keep the customers taken care of while we try to build something that's going to be cheaper. Well, then you can keep run it in the Nexus, and then as you're building something that will be lower cost, then you can just migrate it to the Nexus just because it's a copy-paste data center. Once you have what you want, copy-paste it somewhere else.
That's right.
Copy-paste your website somewhere else. Copy-paste your other apps, web apps. I guess a web app is a website. It's complicated. Move your apps wherever you want. You can actually host cell phone apps. There's someone, I'll say at a high level because we have someone who's trying to host a car automation app that's mobile friendly with the Nexus. There's a lot of RAM things. That one's complicated.
Kinesis.
Amazing.
Yeah, so again, these are some just amazing and really innovative use cases, and just a few of the many ideas that people have come up with using the Nexus, or come up with as ways to use the Nexus. So we will definitely be featuring more Nexus Kinesis projects. We have more people in the dojo, in Underground Ops, who are also working on Nexus Kinesis ideas. So we will definitely be doing more live streams where we talk about those things, and actually hopefully bringing some of these people on too to talk about it as well.
And we did get a question of, did you hear copy-paste data centers? You did hear copy-paste data centers.
That's right. Copy-paste data centers. That's what the
But now we've automated it all the way down to copy pasting the configs for a data center, and then you just sit back and wait. So instead of spending your time configuring things, you just wait like 45 minutes while it's like, I'm going to do this and set up all your stuff. So that's it was a real pain to make, but now that it's working, it's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Super cool. So Nathan, do you want to talk about your Nexus Kinesis project, or should we?
Let's talk about Jermaine's Nexus Kinesis.
Oh, okay, yes.
Magic.
Okay, yes. Our another project is coming at us from Jermaine, and I actually don't know yet what it is, so you're gonna have to talk about that one.
So this is a super cool one. So something about the Underground Nexus and the way that it was built with the idea of running everything through and from and with Git. So if anyone's ever used like GitLab or GitHub and all these different things, Git is a source of truth. And if you're trying to build security resources, it's really nice to have like version histories, things like that. And working with like solutions from like Veeam to StorageCraft to, DigitalOcean has backups. There's so many backup solutions. AOMI, I don't know, it's dizzying. And you have different ways of managing your backup history, your version history. So one way that we've come up with is, what if you could have a server that's both built and managed entirely with Git? And that means that it does indeed have to be all coded. So, Terraform is acceptable. Kubernetes infrastructure as code is acceptable. Docker containers, container images are acceptable for this goal and vision that we had. So I'm like, okay, so let's get all these things that can be done like in a GitLab repository or a GitHub repository. Well, one of the things that goes with that is Git, and especially if you think about like GitLab. GitLab is our primary Git hosting that we use for the source code that we manage, because it lets us use both public hosting and self-hosted GitLab, and it lets us integrate them, and it even lets us integrate with other Git. So it's thanks to GitLab that we have multiple Git environments that all basically talk together, where if I go and make one tiny little change in the Underground Nexus's like source code, it's going to like automatically slingshot that change over to so many different places, all the way from a running Nexus host living somewhere to Docker Hub images that it will build automatically for people to just use and pull. And it'll just spit it all out to all these locations for me to share with a bunch of people, and we even host people with that. And so it is an entirely Git hosted server. So with that being said, that does mean that GitLab has GitLab runners. And if anyone is not familiar with that, what that means is you can take these little things and install them on other remote systems wherever you want, and then you just make them talk to your primary GitLab environment, and then you can control thousands or even millions of different systems from one central location, all using GitLab runners. And so Jermaine is like the master of remote work. I've met a lot of people who can work remotely, but most people at some point, if they can be in the room with you, they can do so much more. But if you put Jermaine in the room with you, he'll probably do just as much as he did when he was remote. But if you don't have Jermaine in the room with you, Jermaine can just sit there and do this, and then make those runners just start building things for you. So you can be like, hey, I need this thing all the way over here, and I also at the same time need you to help me over here, and I have 6 other employees who need you to help them with that over there, and then I also have the boss who needs some help over there too, because that's the boss. You gotta make sure the boss is taken care of at a company. So Jermaine doesn't have to go visit everyone, doesn't have to necessarily even spend time trying to work with all this stuff. He just has to make sure that, if everyone's using the Nexus anyways, and even if they weren't using the Nexus, he can be like, here, copy paste this in your environment. Just copy paste it, and then they'll copy paste it. Boom, now he's got a runner over there. And then if they're like, I need this, he can be like, boom, it happens. And if 6 people need the same thing,
Kinesis.
Boom, it all happens.
It's
right?
Nexus Kinesis.
He just sits there with his keyboard.
Magic.
Make everything happen everywhere automatically. It's just basically like centralized management at scale, where not only can Jermaine manage remote systems, but Jermaine can deploy those copy-paste data centers to whatever locations that, if someone approved it at least, because if someone's like, no, I'm not going to give you the security access to the system. But if it's like a customer or someone who he's helping manage things for, he can just be like, paste that there, paste that there. And then as long as people are doing certain things, if it's inside of a network, he might not even need to have something living in the locations. He can just, from one server, manage maybe another 10,000 nodes over here. It just really depends on how your network's set up. But Jermaine can do it all without being there. Jermaine can do it all without having to go to visit your data centers, and he'll manage your whole company and maybe a bunch of other companies all at the same time, and you'll have no idea how. It's similar to Jordan, similar skills. Just when you think Jermaine's working all the time and anyone else would have to be working all the time to pull off what Jordan or Jermaine do, Jermaine's probably just finding a nice evening. Now, who knows what he's up. He might be there just pumping iron, at the gym, pumping iron, while everybody's code is running. Those runners are just taking care of millions of people without Jermaine in the room with any of them. Amazing.
Very cool. Well, thank you for sharing. Again, Nexus Kinesis. There's all kinds of cool stuff happening. I'd also be super curious to hear from our audience if anyone out there is using the Nexus and you have your own Nexus Kinesis project. Please let us know what it is. Comment below. Let us know. Message one of us. I would love to be able to feature you and your Nexus Kinesis project. So definitely let us know what you're working on with the Nexus. All right, Nato, take it away. What's your Nexus Kinesis magic trick that you're working on?
So my Nexus Kinesis magic trick that I'm working on is I'm going to... So I'll start with where I've started for a while. I had this crazy goal once upon a time to see if I could run and manage an entire company that could just run itself. Basically fully automated with AI. And as of last year, it was the first time ever that I successfully had Notia Point, was the company. It ran itself. There are a lot of reasons why. Also, is I don't know how else I'm going to test these things. And so I kind of focused on building the DevSecOps dojo so that I'm not also just abandoning my customer base and abandoning my people. I'm still around. I'm still there. But I needed to know, is it possible for AI to run a whole company that I need help with? And it did. It ran all of Notia Point all by itself, handling sales, all that stuff, the transactions. And so my magic trick is going to be migrating my artificial intelligence system for having resources that sell for you. I'm going to be building that in the Nexus, and I'm going to be using the Nexus to build automated sales conversion and management systems. I've been getting really into cash flow with companies and stuff like that, and I found that I enjoy helping with cash flow. I think at one point I was wondering if maybe I like doing the direct sales, and I find that maybe I'm not particularly good at direct sales. I get extreme anxiety, and then I have other complications. I have a disability that makes it to where being present's really complicated for me. So even if someone would be like, well, you'd better get good at making sales if you want cash flow, I actually am not as capable of being present as a lot of people might think. It's really hard for me to be present or available, and delays are almost a frequent guaranteed for me. So if I'm trying to pull off the kinds of things that an able-bodied person can do with sales and things like that, I do have no choice but to figure out how to make it work for me. Because if I have to be there present, then my whole family will starve, and then that's not fun, and that's complicated. So, and then the dojo
Including
will
the
end,
dogs.
and
The dogs won't eat
cloud
either.
can't get paid anymore. The cloud bills will stop getting paid. So, I have to be able to work to a capacity that works for me. And so, for my magic trick, I'm working with my AI system to expand it out significantly, and I'm going to have the AI system help our members sell their services automatically, and also with like my help on the back end of it. But I'm very much so. It's already running right now. If anyone's joined the DevSecOps dojo, you've probably seen me. You've probably seen AI Augustus respond to folks, because he responds, or it's a thing. I don't know. AI Augustus is my AI that I've created. It's an AI creation of my service dog that helps me with business, just like my service dog helps me get around in life. Maybe that's a little strange of a thing to do, but that's the life that I live. So I am using AI Augustus to not just help me make an income, but to also help everyone in the DevSecOps dojo entirely make an income. So if you're trying to learn how to do sales and all those things, you might not be aware of this, but the AI Augustus does boost connections, especially on LinkedIn. So if you're making like a weekly post on LinkedIn, things like that, then AI Augustus will try to find people who it thinks you might get along with well, and try to help you find more people. And the good thing about that is if you're looking for a job, you'll be more likely to get people looking at you who are people that you might get along with on LinkedIn, as long as you're making a post at least once a week. So that's, I guess, segues into moving the AI into running from and through the Nexus. It's me an interesting journey, but we're going to use it to monetize the entire Underground Ops company, using that system that Notia Point was able to just like run itself by itself. Well, now we're going to try to use the AI to like grow an entire company with the Underground Nexus. And because I can run it with the Underground Nexus, the Nexus can contain all of the configurations and the knowledge base that it uses and centralize the sensors. So one of the things with AI is you have to have like machine learning management and sensor management. It's just a thing that there's no getting around. You have to have events that things look for. It's very data driven. It's a lot. It's complicated. I actually have some information in the DevSecOps dojo in the question and answer section, if you scroll all the way up for those who are in the DevSecOps dojo, on how it works. So it's not a secret how AI Augustus works and how it's run. It's not a secret at all. But it is a lot of work to make it work, but once it works, then it will start building passive sales and job opportunities for people. So it's going to help with job recruiting, and it's going to help with not just my sales, not just Cloud Underground sales, but the sales of anyone and everyone who is in the DevSecOps dojo, period. So if you are in the DevSecOps dojo and you're becoming a consultant, the benefit of this is if you're trying to learn how to like build your own services, it gives you some sense of training wheels where you could go and try to learn how to sell your technology by yourself, especially if you're like a non-technical type of person, or I mean a super technical type of person who doesn't prefer being like camera to the FaceTime. So I'm coming up with ways for like technical people. So really, I guess we could call it like sales for like people who don't like talking to anyone ever. Because yes, it's possible.
Sales for introverts.
Sales for
introverts.
extreme introverts. Or just people who want a side income and want money to just grow on trees. It does take work first. It's not just free money. It really is a lot of work.
For sure. And to our commenter on LinkedIn, I would definitely say you can find Jermaine and Jordan both on LinkedIn. Another great way to connect with them both is to come and join the dojo. And you can chat with them directly in our Discord server. That's mainly where our dojo is hosted free. Is on a Discord server. So you can come in and like just get to know people there. You can DM people there. So I would definitely recommend, if you want to connect with any of the people that we've talked about today during our Nexus Kinesis live stream, that you should definitely either reach out to them on LinkedIn or come into the dojo. which is probably the better option because they're both always in the dojo.
Yeah.
So.
And if you want to learn how to make money with our AI, we have an AI that will help you make money if you learn how it works with us. I know how it works, but if you're trying to learn and you're trying to learn data science, things like that, I love learning data science and teaching data science where you don't get certs. How about we make it cash? Because if you put cash on it, everybody needs that anyways. A cert, right. I don't know. I got to compete with like CompTIA and other people who are like renowned, but everybody likes cash, right? So I'm not going to do certs. I'm doing cash. So let's come make some cash. Who wants to make some money? So one of the things I'm also going to be doing is I'm going to be opening up a sales team. So I'm going to be recruiting for an augmented AI augmented sales team. The downside of it is the company entity has not been monetized. And so, well, it has been monetized, but instead of us paying people through like salaries, we're doing high ticket sales where you can make probably more than you'd make doing a normal job. Mm-hmm. Instead of us doing like VC raising funds and stuff like that, we're just going to start with like, okay, let's just start selling the services right away. And instead of like you having like a fixed salary, and if you make like a $50,000 sale, well, you're not, we don't want people making like barely any of that. Like you should be getting at least like 10% of what you sell. And the types of stuff that we do, like there's going to be purchases that are like over $100,000. There'll be purchases around like $10,000, $5,000. And so we're going to make it to where you get 10% of whatever you sell. And I'm going to encourage people to sell things generally that are at least $16,000, ideally at least $40,000. I want to teach people how to turn $40,000 sales. That's what I want to do. We got AI to help you out, so let's go, right? So I want to try to help a whole bunch of people start at like, how do you build an automated pipeline where like the entry sale is like $40,000, and then how do you manage that? You do have to have some form of presence if you want to get into that side of it. So the dojo isn't just code and all that stuff, because some people are like, DevSecOps. Well, someone's got to sell the thing that you make with DevSecOps. So sales is part of the ops. Dev, so you can come dojo to learn how to develop things. Sec, you can learn how to secure things. Security, whatever security, it's all security, all dev. If it has compute, cloud, and it needs to be secured. And then ops is like you got to keep it alive. You got to save it when it's on fire. You got to solve the disasters and the incidents, and you got to sell it or nobody eats and it goes out of business anyways. And if literally no one is selling, there's no such thing as ops without sales. It's just not, well, you don't have a company otherwise.
Right.
So we're teaching all of it. So really, it's kind of like if you want to work in the security or DevSecOps industry, which I guess DevOps would be included in that and all that good stuff. If this is your jam, you're like, if it has the word cloud in it and you like cloud, DevSecOps, cloud, you want to make money.
And even if you're already working in that space, we'd still encourage you to come to the dojo. We have some really high-level people there, and so there's definitely things to be learned, no matter what level of your career you're at, or like how much you know about cloud or DevSecOps or whatever. Just, I think everyone can benefit. It's mainly for practitioners, so definitely come in if you are a practitioner, and if you're not and like aspiring, you should come in too and just learn more about what people are doing. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah, and we have a little bit of something for everyone. So it's like if you're trying to learn how to run a company, DevSecOps Dojo. If you're running a company and you're like, I don't care about using these things, I just want a person to like swoop in and hand me working servers, Underground Ops. And that's, Underground Nexus. We have our own Underground Nexus services, Underground Ops. And that is, once again, it's the dojo members. All dojo built, dojo ran. Mm-hmm. It's all everything. The Nexus is dojo built, dojo ran, dojo managed, dojo funded. Mm-hmm. We funded it all ourselves. We don't have investors. We do whatever we feel like. Not to say that we still have to not just reason. Be bad people. Within reason, we got to follow compliance, all that stuff. But we don't have investors. Mm-hmm. So if we want to give a bunch of free stuff away, we can. And if we want to keep the Nexus free forever, we can, and we will.
Well, anyway, any other thoughts about the Nexus Kinesis, Nathan? Nexus Kinesis.
Oh, question. $40,000. Sell that. Yeah, the Blue Mira service. Blue Mira is one of the easier. Well, I would go down, in my opinion. I'm trying not to sound too biased because I am biased because I do work there. I come from working in like SIM, so if there's a SIM technology out there that I've touched, they all take about 3 months to configure. Blue Mira, you can get it up and running in a day. Mm-hmm. And so with the Underground Nexus being a data center that you can get up and running in a day, Blue Mira is the only SIM that you can get up and running in a day. And so we do have a $40,000 sales service that's $40,000 for 1 year. You get basically a cloud-hosted Nexus node that is managed. You get a consultant who's there all year for you. If you need anything that's more than that's out of scope work from your consultant, it's $100 an hour, but they are there for you, and you get Blue Mira with that. Where it's a fully managed SIM where you have your consultant who's managing the SIM and providing you routine reports, security reports, and then you get security and monitoring out of it, all that good stuff. But yeah, so it's for those who are trying to sell all these resources, I do want to teach people how to make money.
That'll be in another live stream. This is the Nexus Kinesis live stream.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, if you're interested in that sort of thing, again, I think join the dojo, follow Nato, subscribe to the Cloud Underground YouTube channel, which is, we're also streaming live there right now, because we will be making a lot more of this content, and we are transitioning now into the sales aspect of things. So Nathan is going to be talking a lot more about sales and how to do sales and that part of the ops. So so definitely stay tuned. There's more of that kind of content coming for sure.
It should be fun.
Definitely.
Should be a lot of fun. I'm excited about all of it.
It's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey so far, and just our Nexus Kinesis projects I think are so cool and super innovative, and I'm really proud of everyone in our communities and everything that everyone's doing, both Underground Ops, Cloud Underground, and then just general dojo members, because there are people in the dojo who we haven't even necessarily talked about who are doing amazing Nexus Kinesis projects. And
speaking of dojo members, if someone is a dojo member and you're in dojo, one of the things that I do in dojo is you can build your own service as well. I want everyone to be well aware that everyone is welcome to build their own service. And then basically, I just want to teach you how to sell whatever you make. So whether you want to sell something that we have pre-canned or you want to sell your own service, I also just want to put that out there.
Definitely.
You want to learn how to build a $100,000 a year service.
We're here to help. And we don't necessarily believe in competition either. I feel there's enough space for everyone, so
Agreed.
Yeah, so come and build something with the Nexus and sell it. We're happy for you to do that. So
yeah, you can start a company if you want.
That's why we have essentially an open source DIY version. Come and do it yourself. So
yeah,
cool.
So cool. And thank you for everyone who's been watching, and then also for those who are doing all this stuff. Jermaine, Antoinette, Ken, Jordan, Randall, Xavier. You're doing a whole lot. You've been working real hard, and I'm very impressed. And
yes.
I'm very excited to really just share. So one of the things I'm going to be doing a whole lot more lately is I'm just going to be broadcasting sort of like a sports announcer, what everyone's working on. Be let's get some play-by-plays on Jordan's project and Randall's project.
Yeah, we should definitely bring everyone on too and have them talk about their own experiences. So look forward to that. We'll be doing that too, for sure. Nexus Kinesis, the Underground Nexus. It's an amazing tool. If we don't say so ourselves, we do. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Shout out to our YouTube viewers. Shout out to our LinkedIn folks. Shout out to our dojo people. Shout out to everyone we mentioned in this video today. And thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time.
Oh yeah.